Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens Part 165 based on novel. So let's start. Fluorescent lights drifted above the foggy land. At a glance, it appeared like the entire world was covered in a deadly silence. There was not even the slightest life force present. This dead silence remained for an unknown period of time. Suddenly, the low and deep sound of rushing wind appeared. A low cry was mixed within it. The sound followed the fog and penetrated through it. If one's eyes were to follow the direction where the sound originated, one would be able to see two blurry figures. Only upon closer inspection one would discover 10 illusory figures around the two people. These figures had empty eye sockets floating around. Despite the absence of eyes, the speed and strength of these energy figures was not weakened even a little. A majestic energy surged when they attacked. Some of the large rocks on the ground were shattered. Attack! Xiao Yang involuntarily laughed as he watched the energy bodies surrounding him. After which, he let out a loud cry. Xiao Yang's figure rushed away almost instantly after his loud cry sounded. At the same time, a lovely figure also flashed and appeared from another spot beside Xiao Yang. A golden light was unleashed from her hand, and it smashed into the many energy bodies with lightning-like speed. A deep explosion spread over the area. Even the dense fog had become much thinner. This kind of explosion continued for a moment before it swiftly came to a stop. Two figures once again appeared together. They exchanged looks and laughed. 5 pieces, Xiao Yang opened his palm. 5 thumb-sized energy cores appeared in it. They emitted a dense energy. 6 pieces, Zuna also extended her white jade-like hand. 6 similar energy cores appeared in her palm. Zuna covered her mouth and softly laughed when she saw the difference. She said in a lovely voice, "Xiao Yang ge, I have won again this time around." Xiao Yang helplessly shook his head. Although the strength of these energy bodies was at the 2-star Dozun class, dealing with 5 of them at the same time was already his limit. If there were any more of them, he would have to use a Do skill. If they continued to compete like this, he was unable to match Sun. Absorb the energy cores first. I will stand guard. Zuna placed all of the energy cores in Xiao Yang's hand as she ordered him. Xiao Yang took the energy cores into his hand without rejecting her. He was aware that he was extremely pressed to raise his strength. Hence, he did not utter any pointless rejections. He received the energy cores and swiftly sat down. His chi method was circulated and wave after wave of rich energy surged from the energy core. It appeared like a thick fog that wrapped around Xiao Yang and poured into his body like an air dragon, following his breathing. Zuna smiled when she saw Xiao Yang absorb the energy. She gently sat beside Xiao Yang, and her hand parted the black hair in front of her forehead. It had been nearly 2 months since they had entered the heavenly tomb. During these 2 months, the two of them had continued to walk through this vast land. Any energy bodies that they meet along the way would be turned into energy cores and would appear in their hands. Hence, the gains that they had obtained during these 2 months were quite rich, but they felt somewhat regretful since the energy bodies were not very strong. The energy cores that they had obtained only appeared to be of the 2nd grade or 3rd grade. These energy cores were still a little useful. When Xiao Yang absorbed more and more energy cores, their effect seemed to become a little poorer. Only now did he understand that if one absorbed too much of this energy, one's body would form a resistance to it. However, this resistance was much weaker than what was formed against a medicinal pill. This quiet world was extremely beneficial to train in. However, one would have to endure a dullness that was many times greater than the outside world. Fortunately, Xiao Yang and Zuna were accompanying each other, so the days might appear dull, but there was an additional liveliness. Xiao Yang's absorption of the energy core did not last for long before his eyes slowly opened. He inhaled a deep breath of air, and the energy lingering around him turned into a cluster of air that was swallowed into his stomach. How is it? Zuna stretched her lazy waist after watching Xiao Yang complete the absorption. Her pretty curves were completely exposed, and her tone contained a tempting laziness. There has been an improvement. However, I am still a ways from the 6-star level. It seems that we must find some higher-grade energy cores. Xiao Yang frowned as he spoke. Ha ha, we are already approaching the middle section of the first level. The energy bodies from here on will gradually become stronger. If we are lucky, we might even be able to meet an energy body with the strength of a 6-star Dozun or higher. The energy cores within their bodies are most suitable to you. Zana sweetly smiled as she explained the situation. Her enchanting smile caused the irritation that had appeared within Xiao Yang's body to quietly disappear. How far is it to the second level? It should take another month or so. The heavenly tomb has 3 levels. The first level is the most spacious. The subsequent 2 levels are a little better. However, the danger will also increase. Zana replied. There is still another month, huh? Xiao Yang mused. He nodded and stood up. He looked to the horizon and smiled as he said, in that case, let's continue to travel. I wonder what those other fellows are like now. Those who can enter the heavenly tomb are all very strong individuals within the clan. They also understand the heavenly tomb quite well. Unless they end up provoking an extremely powerful existence, nothing should happen to them. Moreover, an existence that has reached that level will rarely be found on the first level. Let's go. Xiao Yang nodded. After which, he waved his large hand, took a step forward, and quickly headed in the direction of the deepest part of the heavenly tomb. Zana smiled and followed close behind him. Although this world was dull, any dull place would become extremely warm when she could be with him. The vast heavenly tomb was filled with a dense energy fog. Under this energy pressure, anything that flew would feel their bodies grow as heavy as a mountain. One would feel extremely exhausted after flying for a short period of time. Thus, the heavenly tomb appeared endless. The world in the heavenly tomb was dead quiet and uninteresting. However, no mediocre person could enter this mysterious place. The people who could enter stood out from the many geniuses within their clans. Not only did they possess powerful strengths, even their characters were quite calm. Although this dullness was a little abominable to them, it was still within their ability to endure. Under this kind of dullness, it appeared that the concept of time had become much weaker. Hence, Xiao Yang and Zana could not help but feel a little stunned when they saw an energy wall on the edge of their sights after they had spent 4 months crossing the vast heavenly tomb. Is this the entrance to the second level? Xiao Yang asked in a slightly surprised voice after seeing the energy light wall, which seemed to pour down from the edge of the sky. A travel-worn feeling spread from Xiao Yang. His black hair had become a little longer, and his face seemed to have become a little thinner. However, his dark black eyes contained a glint of flickering light. Ever since Xiao Yang and Zana had entered the deepest parts of the first level, they have had to face the attacks of some powerful energy bodies. Xiao Yang was the one who had dealt with most of these attacks because Xiao Yang could only stop Zana from intervening after seeing her destroy a 6-star Dozun energy body in a swift and simple manner. The first level did not pose much of a threat to her, and it would not have much of an effect on her training. However, it was different for Xiao Yang. He was only a 5-star Dozun. If he did not use any Do skills, he would obtain benefits from exchanging blows with those 6-star Dozun energy bodies. Of course, this was temporary. After the number of times they fought increased, Xiao Yang had become familiar with these energy bodies. Hence, the time of the fight had been reduced from a dozen-plus exchanges to less than 10 exchanges. Some of the weaker 6-star energy bodies were dealt with by Xiao Yang within 3 exchanges. Xiao Yang GE, you are currently at the peak of the 5th star and will break through to the 6th star level soon. I suggest you break through before entering the second level. Otherwise, the Do Chi within your body will not be stable if it is full. Moreover, the second level is more dangerous than the first. One cannot guarantee that nothing will happen if one advances one's level there. Zana looked at the enormous energy light curtain in the distance before turning her head. She smiled as she gave Xiao Yang a suggestion. Xiao Yang hesitated for a moment after hearing her words. Finally, he nodded. After having trained for 4 months within the heavenly tomb and having swallowed thousands of energy cores, the Do Chi within his body was at a full state. he would be able to break through to the 6th star at any moment. However, one's aura would end up unstable when advancing one's level, and it would not be suitable to stay in such a place. The advancement between levels in the Dozun class requires too much energy. The energy that I have absorbed during these 4 months is something that I would not have been able to obtain in the outside world even after an entire year. This energy has barely reached the requirement to break through. I wonder just what kind of frightening energy one requires to break through the 6th star to the 7th star. Xiao Yang softly sighed in his heart. He swiftly focused his mind, turned his head to Sun and said, "In that case, I will have to ask you to guard me again." Sun smiled and nodded. Xiao Yang swept his eyes around him when he saw her nod. His body leaped onto a large rock. After which, he swiftly sat down. He entered his training condition and a cluster chi began to gradually spread from his body. It covered the area within a 100-meter radius. After Xiao Yang shut his eyes and attempted to break through, Sun's toes pressed against the ground. Her body drifted onto a large rock. Her eyes were shut and the activity within a 1,000-foot radius was captured within her heart. Following the silence of these two, the land once again became completely quiet. After this dead silence continued for around 2 hours, a dark and cold wind suddenly rushed over. Zuna on the large rock suddenly opened her eyes when this dark and cold wind appeared. Her face was ice cold as she looked to the sky in the north. She spoke in an indifferent voice, "Since you are here, why do you need to continue hiding? Have the current members of the Hun clan become this terrible? Ha ha, you are worthy of being in possession of the divine bloodline of the Gu clan. Such perception is indeed praiseworthy." The space in the distance fluctuated after Sun's cold voice sounded. Immediately, 2 black-robed figures slowly stepped in the air and arrived. A dark and dense aura slowly spread from them. 2 figures covered in black robes stepped through empty space. After which, they slowly landed a short distance from Sun. The leader raised his head, revealing a young pale white face. It was Hun Ya from the Hun clan. "Hun Ya, you are really bold." Sun's eyes were icy cold as she stared at Hun Ya and slowly yelled at him. "Ha ha, what is there to be afraid of? Your status does not pose the slightest deterrence to me. Actually, I really wish to know just what kind of uproar would occur within the Gu clan if you, a clan member with the divine bloodline, meet with an accident." Hun Ya laughed. His voice was filled with a dark chill. "With your skill?" A golden flame slowly danced within Sun's voice as she calmly inquired. "I know that it would be difficult to deal with you. Therefore, my target this time around is not you but him." Hun Ya smiled. His finger suddenly pointed towards Xiao Yang, who was breaking through with his eyes shut. He laughed in a cold voice. "Actually, 1 month ago, I sensed the both of you through my spiritual eye. However, I did not find a good opportunity to attack. Fortunately, such an opportunity has finally arrived." Zuna coldly laughed. "You can come and try." "As you wish." Hun Ya smiled. A cold arc was lifted onto his pale face. "Hun Li, attack together and kill her." "Understood." The black-robed person beside Hun Ya nodded when he heard this command. He pulled off the doping on his head, revealing a scar-filled face. A pair of indifferent and emotionless eyes stared at Sun a short distance away. There was not the slightest ripple in them because of Sun's extremely beautiful appearance. "It is likely that Miss Sun has heard of Hun Li, right? Ha ha, quite a number of experts from the Gu clan have died to his hands during the hidden fights between the Gu clan and the Hun clan during these years. Of course, those injuries on his body were bestowed by those people." Hun Ya smiled as he looked at Sun and said, "I am aware that your strength is extremely great. However, I wish to see whether you can block 2 8-star Dozuns when they are attacking together." Sun's face was without a ripple, appearing like an old well. She did not show the slightest unusual emotion because of Hun Ya's words. She slowly stood up from the large rock. A golden flame lingered in her eyes. Bang! That man called Hun Li stomped his foot on the ground the moment Sun's eyes filled with the golden flame. His body appeared in front of Sun Er with lightning-like speed. His fist, which contained a dense cold aura, smashed toward Sun Er's neck without any fancy moves. Sun Er's eyes became cold when Han Li attacked. Her hand penetrated empty space with lightning-like speed, and she slammed into the fist just as it had been thrown forward. Bang! The fist and palm collided. A frightening wind caused the large rocks under their feet to explode with a bang. Han Li's body staggered 2 steps back. Although he was at a disadvantage, Han Li was not furious. An abnormal smile appeared on his face. His body flashed, and he once again pounced forward in a crazy fashion. Frightening wind shook the entire area until it rapidly began to distort. Faced with Han Li's ferocious attack, Sun Er's legs suddenly displayed a mysterious footwork. She easily dodged those sharp palm winds. Each time her weak hand struck Han Li's body, he would violently tremble. Han Li appeared to be attacking in the battleground. However, his rhythm was clearly being controlled by Sun Er. It was like a furious bull on a rampage was attempting to strike a dancing butterfly. It might appear fierce, but it did not pose much threat. Sun Er once again forced Han Li back with a palm. Her body suddenly turned, and she clenched her hand. A golden flame turned into a fire whip that shot out from her sleeve. Space fluctuated the moment the golden fire whip shot out. A dark black chain that contained a dark murderous aura shot from empty space like a poisonous snake. It heavily collided with the fire whip. An ear-piercing sizzling sound erupted. You are indeed worthy of being someone who possesses the divine bloodline. Your senses are this sharp. Han Huai's figure appeared at the end of the dark black chain. He coldly laughed as he widened his mouth. A large black dragon surged out. This dragon was accompanied by a sharp deafening dragon roar. It tore through the air and ruthlessly charged toward Sun Er. If one were to observe the scene carefully, one might discover that this dark black dragon was formed by many souls. The sharp dragon roar was emitted from many miserable screeches. Dirty tricks! Sun Er's eyes became cold as she watched the dark black chain rushed over. She was just about to attack when an extremely ferocious wind was suddenly transmitted from behind her. Even without turning around, she was aware that Han Li had attacked again. Even Sun Er ended up knitting her brows when faced with 2 8-star Dozun experts. Her toes pressed on the ground, and her body rushed into the air. After which, the seal formed by her hand changed. A dense golden flame suddenly surged from her body in all directions. It transformed into a 100-meter large fire hand that reached for the enormous dark black dragon. Bang! The golden fire hand grabbed the dark black dragon. The frightening temperature turned the souls into nothing before their miserable screech could be emitted. The sharp wind from behind her arrived after she had shattered the black soul dragon. Her hand formed a seal with lightning-like speed before smashing it behind her without even turning her head. Bang! The two collided. A frightening wind swept over the sky like a storm. The rich energy fog within a 1,000-foot radius had become thinner as a result. The visibility within the fog had become much better. Groan! A muffled moan was emitted from Han Li's throat when the wind swept away. His feet staggered back through empty air. That frightening and ferocious scar-filled face revealed a faint paleness on it. Although Han Li was forced back, Sun Er's foot was shaken until she took half a step back. A slight numb feeling appeared within her hand. This Han Li was clearly not a simple character. Otherwise, he would not have been able to force her back. Han Hua, it looks like the two of you do not wish to leave the GU realm alive. Sun Er clenched her hand. Her icy-cold eyes landed on Han Hua as she coldly cried out. There is no need for Miss Sun Er to be worried, Han Hua laughed in a dark voice. His eyes suddenly glanced down. Xiao Yang was seated below him. The do-chi fluctuation around him was becoming more intense. We won't be able to kill Sun Er within a short period of time. Looks like we can only kill Xiao Yang. After having experienced these exchanges, Han Hua had gained an understanding of Sun Er's strength. He understood that even if he and Han Li were to join hands, they could fight with Sun Er, but they would not be able to seriously injure or kill her. However, Xiao Yang was currently in a state where he was experiencing a breakthrough. If he were to successfully do so, they would end up with some trouble. Despite Xiao Yang only being a 6-star Dozan, Han Ya, who had watched the battle between Xiao Yang and Ji Yu Yao back then, understood that Xiao Yang's fighting strength far exceeded his surface strength. Han Li, go and kill Xiao Yang. I will stop her. Sun Er's expression finally changed when she heard Han Ya's cry. Her lovely figure flashed as she swiftly rushed toward Xiao Yang. However, she had yet to get far when a whistling wind erupted behind her. Zana turned her head to see countless number of sharp black chains pouring toward her like a storm. Each of these chains possessed the strength to easily penetrate the defenses of an elite Dozan. When such a number of them had gathered together, even Zana could not act like she had seen nothing. Han Ya, if you dare hurt him, this heavenly tomb shall be your final resting place. Zana could only turn her body when faced with Han Ya's ferocious attack. A golden flame swept apart, and those chains were shattered amid some clang sounds. This woman, what powerful strength! If it was a one-on-one fight, I am really no match for her. Han Ya's expression changed as he watched the dark black chains shatter in an instant. He turned his gaze, and a cold smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Han Li had swiftly rushed to the large rock where Xiao Yang was training at this moment. Han Li's actions were also discovered by Sun Er. A dense murderous aura surged from her eyes. Her sleeve shook and a golden long spear that contained an extremely frightening energy suddenly shot out. It ruthlessly shot at Han Ya. However, Han Ya was expressionless as he faced Sun Er's ferocious attack. It appeared as though he did not sense it. His fist, which was covered in a dense cold fog, smashed toward Xiao Yang's head without any hesitation. It was as though he wanted to take Xiao Yang's life even if he ended up being seriously injured by Sun Er. Even Sun Er's face had suddenly revealed a paleness when she saw this scene. A bone-chilling craziness erupted from deep within her eyes. When this craziness had surged from deep within Sun Er's eyes, Xiao Yang, who was seated on the large rock, suddenly opened his eyes. The corner of his mouth was lifted into a cold smile. His right hand slammed toward Han Li, who was within close proximity, with lightning-like speed. Great Heaven Creation Palm. The moment the palm was thrown out, a dark black heart-chilling light sphere began to expand with lightning-like speed. At this moment, the eyes of the ferocious-looking Han Li finally revealed an aghast expression. The dark black light sphere was like a mysterious black hole that swiftly spread from Xiao Yang's palm. Within the blink of an eye, it ruthlessly collided with Han Li, who was in close proximity. What a frightening retaliation by this brat! A shocked expression flashed across Han Li's eyes as he watched the black hole rapidly magnify in his eyes. Given Xiao Yang's strength, it was impossible for him to block an attack by Han Li even after waking up. However, Han Li did not expect this fellow to unhesitatingly unleash a powerful Do skill the moment he opened his eyes. When the black hole made contact with Han Li's body, his body emitted wave after wave of dense black fog Do Chi. However, it did not erode him and cause his body to disappear like old Ghost Zhaixing. Clearly, the strength of Han Li had far exceeded old Ghost Zhaixing. Humph! Xiao Yang's eyes turned cold when he sensed the light sphere met some resistance. Do Chi began to surge from his body in all directions before pouring into the dark black light sphere. Following the pouring in of Do Chi, Han Ya's sleeve was shattered with a ripping sound. Dense droplets of blood seeped from his arms. These blood droplets rolled down before turning into a line that continued to fall to the ground. Han Li's expression changed when he sensed the frightening tearing force that was spreading from the light circle. He could sense the energy within the light sphere was becoming stronger. If this continued, he would not be able to endure and some serious injuries would occur. Soul explosion! A brutalness flashed across Han Li's eyes when this thought appeared in his heart. A dense black fog continued to surge from his palm. Finally, numerous powerful spiritual bodies exploded amid a wave of sharp miserable screeches. A frightening energy exploded at this moment and forcefully stopped the speed at which the black light was expending. With the help of the reaction force from the soul explosion, Han Li's body swiftly pulled back. He is indeed worthy of being an expert of the Han clan. A grave expression flew across Xiao Yang's eyes when he saw that this fellow blocked the great heaven creation palm, but his right palm slammed into the empty air in an abrupt manner. Bang! After Xiao Yan's palm fell, the black light sphere, which had been blocked by the soul explosion, emitted a bang before continuing to expand. It caught up to the rapidly withdrawing Han Yue with lightning-like speed. The light sphere ruthlessly collided with his body. The blood and dou qi within Han Li's body churned after suffering this ferocious strike. His organs appeared to have been shaken until their positions were shifted. A mouthful of fresh red blood was spat out. His body flew into the distance like a kite with its string broken. Since you have already attacked, you should leave your life behind. Zana was startled by this scene that had occurred within a split second. Her heart sighed in relief after seeing that Xiao Yang was all right. Her pretty eyes glanced at Han Li, who had flown back after being injured. The murderous desire in her heart suddenly surged. With a shake of her hand, a long spear with golden flames on it penetrated empty space with lightning speed. It ruthlessly rushed toward Han Li's head. Zana was extremely vicious. At this moment, Han Li was completely exhausted. Moreover, his body was in the air. It was impossible for him to dodge her attack. Hence, he could only watch as the golden spear ruthlessly shot toward his head. Bang! When the golden spear was about to strike Han Li's head, a wind suddenly shot over. It heavily struck Han Li's body. With the push from this force, Han Li's body shifted a little. Instead of his head, his shoulder ended up receiving the attack. The golden spear ruthlessly shot into Han Li's shoulder. Its frightening strength penetrated his shoulder. Han Li's body flew because of the long spear. It was violently nailed into the ground. The land within 1,000 feet collapsed and became half a meter deep. A frightening wind spread from where the ground collapsed. A dark black figure flashed and arrived in a ghost-like fashion. A gloominess flashed across Han Yue's face when he saw Han Li's blood-covered body. A mouth-sized injury that revealed Han Li's bone appeared on his shoulder. Han Yue's hand was used as a knife as he decisively hacked down. Fresh blood spluttered as he completely cut off Han Li's left arm. That spot had been completely eroded by the golden flame. Han Li would gradually have turned into ashes if he kept it. However, Han Li was quite tough. He clenched his teeth without making any noise when Han Yue forcefully cut off his arm. Xiao Yang, consider yourselves ruthless. This debt will not be settled so easily. Han Yue grabbed Han Li, who barely had any breath left. He looked at Xiao Yang and Zun Er in a vicious manner as he spoke in a dense voice. You wish to leave? Zun Er coldly laughed when she saw him. She was just about to move and stop him when a dense black fog surged out of Han Yue's body. A countless number of ferocious-looking spiritual bodies shot out in all directions. They viciously rushed toward Zun Er. However, they ended up exploding with a bang when they were still 100 feet from her. Countless number of souls self-destructed. That frightening air wave caused Zun Er to frown. Her body pulled back a couple of steps as she waved her hand. Golden flames swept out and incinerated the dark black fog. However, Han Yue and Han Li were nowhere to be found within the black fog. They are really quick to escape. Zun Er knit her brows. She turned her head and glanced at the energy light curtain that led to the second level. Two figures vaguely flashed beyond that spot. After which, they entered the curtain. Those two were clearly Han Yue and Han Li. Zun Er hurriedly looked at Xiao Yang after withdrawing her eyes from the energy curtain only to see that his face was a little pale. She hurried over and asked, Xiao Yang Ge, you all right? It's nothing serious. I have just broken through and the dou qi within my body is still unstable. Unleashing that Qian class dou skill has resulted in a backlash. I will be fine after I recuperate for a while. Xiao Yang shook his head and replied. We nearly fell for a trick of those two. We must take their lives the next time we meet them. Zun Er furiously cried out. Xiao Yang nodded. A killing intent surged within his eyes. If he had not awoken early this time around and used the Tien Class Do skill, that sneak attack would have succeeded. We should be a little more careful in the future. Those fellows aren't ordinary. Xiao Yang quietly spoke in his heart. Since there had been no trace of anyone during this period of training, Xiao Yang's caution had been reduced. Only now did he understand that this heavenly tomb was not as peaceful as he had imagined. Xiao Yang Ge, you should go and recuperate. We will enter the second level after you have recovered. Han Li was seriously injured by me. Their strength will definitely be reduced. I am confident I can kill Han Ya if we meet again, Zana spoke with a cold face. She was really furious this time around. Xiao Yang nodded. He would naturally not let the opportunity to beat a drowning dog go to waste. Moreover, this drowning dog was the bastard, Han Ya. He should not let him off easily. Xiao Yang shut his eyes after uttering that word. His breathing stabilized, and the paleness on his face swiftly disappeared. Once Xiao Yang entered his training state, Zana slowly stood up. With the prior incident, she no longer dared to be more than a meter away from Xiao Yang. Her face was ice cold as the mighty Do Qi within her body surged like floodwater. Anyone who entered the range of her senses would suffer a wild storm-like attack. Xiao Yang's training continued for around an hour or so. After which, he slowly opened his eyes. Surging Do Qi fluctuated within his eyes as though it was a real substance. His hand moved and numerous slight scars appeared in space. The aura of the current Xiao Yang had undoubtedly been strengthened when compared to earlier. 6-star Dozun. Xiao Yang smiled as he sensed the ocean-like Do Qi within his body. He could sense the soaring of his strength and the comfortable feeling brought by the increase of his level. The effects of 4 months of training has been extremely good. However, I wonder just how long it will take to break through to the 7th star. Xiao Yan understood that the heavenly tomb's energy cores were great nourishment. However, it was becoming more difficult to raise one's level at the later stages of the Dozun class because the energy that was required to advance was so large that it was shocking. It was too difficult to reach. Xiao Yang Ge, congratulations. Zana only heaved a sigh of relief within her heart when she saw Xiao Yang open his eyes. She sweetly smiled and uttered congratulatory words. With her perception, she was naturally able to sense that Xiao Yang's current strength had increased. This is only the 6th star. There is still a gap when I'm compared to Ji Yu Yao and that Han Ya. Xiao Yang straightened his body. He heard the crackling sounds of his bones from within his body and laughed. They have to train for much longer than you. They cannot compare to you at your age. Moreover, the two clans possess an extremely rich foundation. The way they have been groomed is something that an ordinary person cannot compare with. Zana covered her mouth and softly giggled. If Xiao Yang Ge trained like this since young, you might have reached the Doshan class by now. One cannot rely on this to reach the Doshan class. Xiao Yang helplessly shook his head. After which, he stood up and looked to the energy light in the distance. He laughed and said, "Let's go. It is time for us to experience how dangerous the second level of the heavenly tomb is." Xiao Yang stomped on a large rock after uttering these words. His body shot toward the light curtain. Zana, who was behind him, smiled and swiftly followed. This video will end here.